actually already seen an example of it twice, because I have kind of probably dropped the term once in a while as I've been lecturing. So remember from week 8, the transborder immigrant tool, for those of you who are here. This is an example of tactical media. It's using, I mean, it's also using technology, these apps that were installed on the cell phones to guide immigrants to water stations in the desert. And that same group, anyone remember the name of the group or the guy? Probably, yeah. Oh, Border Angels. Very good. Border Angels was the people who put the water stations in the desert. But yes, you're totally on the right track. It was Electronic Disturbance Theater. So this is a tactical media group that uses several different strategies to create actions and activism on the internet. So while this piece is not kind of classic tactical media, this piece was. And I didn't show you the images from it before, because I was going to save it for this week. But I talked about this in week 5. This program called FloodNet. And remember the Zapatistas? You know, I talk about Mexico all the time. The Zapatistas, so on the ground, the Zapatistas were using guerrilla tactics to combat, to combat the Mexican police, the Mexican army, and also agitate for, economic parity in southern Mexico. Online, the digital Zapatistas were led by Electronic Disturbance Theater, among other groups. And Electronic Disturbance Theater was led by a man named Ricardo Dominguez. His name should be pretty familiar to you, so you actually remembered him from the exams. That was good. This is a program called FloodNet. So this is when we talk about tactical media, this is the usually kind of the most basic or kind of iconic type of tactical media intervention. It's using the internet, using software to disrupt or create disturbances. So what FloodNet did, does anyone remember what FloodNet did from the lecture? It was a long time ago, I know, week 5. Okay. So he created something called digital sittings, virtual sittings. So what he did was, the group, created this piece of software that when engaged with a government website, and I don't know the exact mechanism of this, but when he engaged these government websites, these are Mexican government websites, it would no longer show the government website as is, it would show this page. So on the right you see action alerts, Zapata Vive, Zapata Lives, and explaining what's going on. So rather than getting to the Department of Health or whatever you're looking for, suddenly you get this page of political propaganda from an activist group. And you have the option to add your own message to the text that comes up. So that's what the applet on the left is showing. And this was in 1997. So again, this was, I would say, a much less sophisticated version of the internet than you're all used to right now. But even back then, enough people were using the internet to get information about the government, that this caused a huge disturbance. It's legal. This is not hacking in the sense that you actually go into a server and you disrupt the actions of the program. This is actually a totally legal way of creating a disturbance online. So this type of cyber activism. So tactical media as a concept really began with something called the Next 5 Minutes conference. There were several different versions of the Next 5 Minutes. The first one was in 1994, second 1996, third 1999. This is just a screenshot from the repository of information about the Next 5 Minutes. And Amsterdam was a big site for where a lot of these conferences were held, where people who chose to practice tactical media, either calling themselves artists or hacktivists or artist activists. There's a lot of different terms for it. They gathered here and they exchanged ideas. And we really kind of tried to settle on a definition for tactical media, but again, it's a very slippery concept. It's not something that that really, this is tactical media, because again, there's so many different strategies that have been created. So FloodNet and kind of using software to disrupt government websites, the tactics of Anonymous are hacktivist tactics. but they're not necessarily tactical media, so there's a little bit of a difference there. But possibly the most famous and well-known group that practices tactical media is called the Yes Men. So all of you should have heard of them because they were the reading for today. But if not, then I will, of course, give you like a quick introduction to the Yes Men. But who here has heard of the Yes Men? Yes, I see hands. Okay, what kind of projects have you, what kind of projects have you heard of by them? Or what kind of actions do they do? No clue. Okay, you just heard of them. Just the term, okay. So they have a very interesting strategy. So the Yes Men is a large group of people who are artists, activists. They consciously use these terms. They're led by two. There's two main people that you always see in the videos. One of them is Andy Bickelbaum, is kind of the one you'll always see in all the videos. He dresses up and usually pretends to be a corporate spokesman. And the other one, I believe his name is Mike, but I forgot his last name. You'll see it on the video.